Recording. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Just checking the monitor. I'm Frankie's son.
And I'm Mark.
Okay, real quick announcements. Not to repeat myself, but Google kind of shut down some other blogs and stuff like that. So you can see the show being transferred. It takes about 24, 48 hours to it to be uploaded to YouTube. And after that, pretty soon, we're going to go back to doing some special editions. We're going to be coming in during the week and having extended shows, and those are going to appear on YouTube. More details on the next show because we're still double checking our schedule on that. You can also check us out on Instagram. And coming soon will be SoundCloud and Pinterest. Now, if you want to get there, I don't have the direct links right now, but very simple, just Google it. Google Frankie San Pinterest, excuse me, and SoundCloud. And I'll have the links attached to the YouTube website. Let's go back. Yeah. As a matter of fact, the last show is playing right now, and in the description area. Can we click on that? The last show? Yeah, on that last show, if you scroll down, I have the links already posted. You see that I have, there's got a couple links there. So you can go right there and get to those links. I'm going to be adding more links on, after this show gets posted. Anyway, so let's get right into the box office real quick. Everybody thought that Endgame was going to be number one. Well, right now it's in the U.S. box office, it's Star Wars is number one of all time in the U.S. box office. Internationally is Avatar, and right now Endgame is $200 million away on both sides, and internationally it's $200 million away. It might take it. We'll find out after Memorial Day weekend. So the next show, when we come back on, we'll find out if Endgame took out Avatar. Star Wars is kind of dwindling down because John Wick just came out, already made $60 million for the weekend, and we got right around the corner Aladdin. Disney, it can't, there's not no misfire there. And then after that, we're going to have Godzilla and Elton John Rocketman, which got great reviews in France and all over the internet. They had a premiere out in France, and it's doing huge. Great talk. Saying it's better than Queen Bohemian Rhapsody. My thing is, you got a John Wick audience. You got a Disney audience for Aladdin. You got a Godzilla audience. And you have an Elton John audience that's also into the Star Wars Born Bohemian Rhapsody. And that's just cutting away to Endgame. So it's the beginning of the end for Endgame. But as far as time travel movies, I just want to ask Mark here. As a matter of fact, real quick, because the next show we're going to be covering Godzilla. It's going to be a big Godzilla show.
So stay tuned.
Yes. Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. Okay. Destroy All Monsters. Combination with King Kong and all that. This movie is going to be very important, the next Godzilla, because if this one fails, well, it's going to hurt the box office for Godzilla King Kong. The reviews are already coming in, and they say it's like the best Godzilla movie ever. Well, we'll see when it comes out. But Godzilla did do a time travel movie, and it was Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. This was the pictures in the 80s. This is a double disc. This one's playing with Godzilla and Mothra, the battle for Earth. And the original film, a lot of the Godzilla films from the 80s were being repeated. They were basically rebooted or redone, or remade, or remake, or whatever you want to call it. And so with Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, this had a whole big time travel thing. A UFO from 2500 AD, way into the future, and goes back to World War II to get a dinosaur and transform into Godzilla so he can attack modern-day Tokyo, but they wiped him out of the timeline and gets replaced by King Ghidorah, or Ghidra, whatever you want to call it, and it's a warped storyline. I never could get into the movie, but even Godzilla has done time travel. So my question to you, Mark, I got considered the two best time travel movies.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Fast and Furious time traveling.
That'll be the next one.
After space.
After space, exactly.
Yeah, because that's Avengers thing. They went to space, and then they did time travel.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's usually the next marker.
Yeah, poor Vin Diesel, man. I know he's still pissed off with that whole Bob's and Shore.
Yeah, Calvin and Shore's.
Yeah.
Shore he's ticked off that because I think him and The Rock always had a competition. People were saying who's more of the legit badass.
Right.
And we pretty much all know the real legit badass is The Rock.
Right.
And since Vin Diesel career started, declining, he had to go back to the Fast and Furious franchise.
Yep.
And then he said, "Well, my career's over." And then he started seeing The Rock slowly climb, hitting box office numbers that he was losing. And boom, out of nowhere, he's in his show.
Yeah.
And then he takes a chunk of it and walks away.
Well, every 10, 20 years, some new guy comes along.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because everybody
New
gets
blood.
old and some young blood comes in and takes over.
Yeah.
Well, so what do you think is for me, these are tied and tied. Back to the Future with Terminator.
I would have to give it to Back to the Future because I remember when I first saw it, even though it was taken from another story, to me it was better. It was more legit.
More legit? In
Yeah.
what way?
The story. It was a more developed story. Because as far as time travel movies, you would have to put Terminator 1. I would put Terminator 1 over Terminator 2.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. I can see that. Yeah. It just the main reason I picked number 2 is because the technology moves so much fast forward and adapting it. Now it's common play. You see the morphing and all that. It's become like you expect to see it. If you don't see it, then something's wrong. It's a cheap sci-fi movie. It's part of the industry. Same thing like motion cap has become the industry standard. Back to the Future was just plain fun. Believe it or not, I happen to like Back to the Future number 2.
Yeah,
a lot of people hate, and 3 is I love it because it has to do with westerns, and I'm a big western fan. So you will pick Terminator 1. That makes sense. So replace
Terminator 1 over Terminator 2, and Back to the Future over both of them because Back to the Future seemed like it had a bigger budget.
Yeah. Well,
it was awesome.
Now talk about time travel. That's right. Time travel. Bill and Ted. It's official. Keanu Reeves is going to do a Bill and Ted number 3.
Yeah, I remember once when he said he would never do it. There you go.
There you go. Another franchise, Yeah. And I forget the young kid's name here. Alex Winter. Yeah. He went to become a director.
Yeah, for documentaries.
Yeah, not bad. He went right into that kind of business. But talk about Keanu Reeves.
Yes, sir.
He's the one with John Wick 3 who dismantled and knocked Endgame out of the number 1 spot. The movie's going to clear $60 million, the biggest money making for the franchise. Yeah, good for Keanu.
Yeah, man. This to me was always the best. Like, for example, when he did Matrix 1, best out of the series. He catapulted himself to other movies like that, like Constantine. I wanted to see more. It did well. I don't think it did well domestically, but internationally it did great numbers.
Yeah.
I always wanted to see number 2, but then they started fighting over money and rights and all this, and then they took it away from him, and then he wanted to do it. Boom, it was gone, and then John Wick out of nowhere.
Yeah. That was a big surprise hit number 1. And a lot of people did not go see it at first. And now it developed into a cult following, and that carried over to number 2. Yeah. And now people have been catching it with 1 and 2, thanks to streaming, out of all things.
Yeah. Even the toys out there.
Yeah. And so now he's clearing $60 million, which is good.
Good for him,
without getting any spoilers. Well, basically, he kicks everybody's ass as a huge body count. I mean, what kind of storyline do you need? But you don't want anything more than that. Yeah. Do they leave it open for a possibility for number 4?
Well, let me tell you, I don't want to do spoilers, but I have to give you this one. They kill him. I'm just kidding. Wouldn't that be great if that was it?
That'd be kind of dumb as far as the producer side.
If they kill him, how do they continue the franchise? Well, they pull a Weekend at Bernie's. Every time they play music, he starts dancing the salsa dance and kicking everyone's ass.
Well,
that'd be genius.
Was it Tara Egerton, who's going to play Elton John? He came from you saw the Kingsmen.
Yes.
Right. Yes. And they shot Colin Firth, and right in the head, And then number 2, they explain,
and guess what? He's back.
He's back, yeah. I mean, point blank, Samuel Jackson, boom, right in the shins there. And all of a sudden, number 2, at the end of the movie, what happened was we came on the helicopter, we put a special patch to stop the bleeding, and then we couldn't replace his eye, but we saved his memory. We couldn't save his memory. That's why he doesn't remember anything, but we still saved his life.
Yes.
And boom, he's still in the second movie.
They could always bring him back. It's like in Star Wars, they say that old joke in Star Wars. No one really ever dies.
No. Well,
nobody ever really dies. Well, they say that joke, but it's not true. But they say you never really die. You go into the Force.
Well, actually, the Star Trek got the head start on that. Once Spock died in Wrath of Khan and they brought him back, they said nobody in science fiction really dies.
Nobody really dies. Nobody dies anywhere.
Yeah, like Black Widow, she's going to come back somehow. Because here's a question I got about the Endgame, and somebody brought this up. Okay, they say Black Widow.
Spoilers? Yeah, we can. I guess we did it last
been out of weeks already.
Yes,
somebody living underneath a rock probably haven't seen it.
Probably.
But like Black Widow, she can come back because Dr. Strange said the whole philosophy about the
timeline.
The timeline, right? You can go back. Look at what Captain America did. He jumped into one of the timelines and stayed with Peggy. Until he got old, then he decided to come back. He could have rearranged that whole timeline, go to the other timeline, spend time with Peggy, jump into a timeline, and come back young again as Captain America. But he decided, let me age myself out. Okay? Right. How come where was Dr. Strange and when New York City was being attacked in the first Big Avengers movie?
Oh, Doctor Strange, they showed it in the movie. The Doctor Strange hadn't been invented yet. What do you call it? The Ancient One. She was doing the fighting. She was trying to save the mansion, and the Hulk came and says, "I'm here for Doctor Strange," and she told him, "Well, he hasn't been invented yet. He's still out there."
Oh, he's out there.
Yeah, he's out there.
He was in New York City at that particular time.
Yeah, but he was a doctor. He didn't have the power. She was in control of the power. She gives it to him after. They had it right there. Like, this is the way they're trying to explain it. Don't argue with me. I didn't write this cockamamie bull ass.
They reinvented that whole time thing.
Yeah.
They just reinvented the whole thing.
Yeah, they said if you look into it and study it, they say so many holes in the timeline that Ant-Man was here, yet he was fighting with the Avengers.
Yeah, I mean, what was it that? The Hulk says, "Oh, that's not the way time travel works."
Yeah,
we're gonna make up our own bullshit to fit the movie.
They could do it.
Okay,
it's sort of like in the comic books. You know how many times they said that the Iron Man, Tony Stark, actually died? He died several times, but they kept bringing him back through a different universe, different timeline, futures. So, you know, he's almost like. He's almost like the robot out of Age of Ultron. He could keep coming back.
Right. I mean, now they made up their own timeline philosophy.
Yeah.
Anybody can come back.
Yeah, anybody could come back.
You know,
they could be a different person. They could be an alternate universe. Marvel was, what was it? Was it DC was doing that way before Marvel, and then Marvel started saying, yeah, that's right. Physicist says there's alternate dimensions, alternate universes. Boom, here you go.
That's your out.
Yeah, nobody dies.
Yeah, nobody dies. Well, Star Trek did the same thing. A young Spock met up with the older Spock, the original Spock, Leonard Nimoy, and he met Quentin Tarantino. Not
Quentin Tarantino.
Not that Tarantino, the other guy. But so young Spock met the older Spock, and he said things don't look good for the older Spock the way he goes and stuff like that.
Yes.
You know, so right there he met himself to the alternate universe.
Right.
Right. So I mean, they can bounce in any which way. You know, when Thanos made the snap and everybody died, and Spider-Man goes, "Oh, I don't want to go, Mr. Spock." I say, "What the fuck, man? Everybody's gonna come back in 2 years. Nobody dies." Yeah. You know, but that's sci-fi for you. But anyway, so tell us about John Wick. Why everybody should go see this movie.
I saw it. You're gonna see it regardless of how I felt about it. From what I felt about it, it's sort of like they started adding more characters and trying to define characters aside from John Wick. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not a person who likes you throwing all these B stories at me. I stay with A. Stay with the A story. This is not, for me, I'm saying, this is not, what do you call that, a comedy, a situation comedy, where they have an A story and a B story. And then you have all these B characters like, what do you call them, they always put them in TV shows through writing. They call them, for the comedic relief.
Right.
So they threw a lot of that stuff in there. It's like Halle Berry, then the guy who took care of John Wick's dog, and all these other characters, and more Lawrence Fishburne.
It sounds like filler more than anything.
Yes, and it was like, I think it was getting close to 2 hours, the movie.
Wow. Well,
they threw a lot of filler.
Well, the hotel itself is going to have its own spin-off for TV or movie.
I guess. I don't know how they're going to do that.
It's been said that the hotel is going to have its own official.
They think these are good ideas. They did that with Superman. So it's like, look, instead of telling the story of Superman, why don't we tell the story how he grew up? And let's not show him to the very end. And see, and subvert expectations and see how that works out for us. Hey, guess what? Wake up. I got another one. I got a better idea.
What?
How about we do Batman? But before Batman became Batman. And we spend like 6 years talking about Gotham. What do you think about that? We're subverting expectations. How about Star Wars, all right? Instead of Luke Skywalker and the Skywalker family, we talk about the guy who came up with the suits.
Yeah.
Or the robots. You ever really want to know the story of how those robots became robots?
Yeah, I mean, remember Lucas said the whole story, the whole tale of Skywalker is told from the story of the robots. Well, somebody changed their mind on that theory. Yeah,
good.
You know.
Good grief.
Yeah, but
who cares? You know, and this is what they do. It's like stay focused with the character, but no, you don't want to do that. You want to pad on to 2 hours. It's like I always make that joke. This 500-page book could have been 250. Yeah. 250 pages. But we padded it so much. It's like that one book. What's that book? Grey. That sex book that they made 3 bad movies about it.
Oh, the Shades of Grey?
Yeah, Shades of Grey. It's like they padded with so much, and the only people who even like that kind of book, sorry, I'm sorry you're offended, would be like, your mom.
I think the one that goes down in history is Stephen King, The Stand. When it first came out, it was like 400 or 500 pages.
Oof.
And then he went back and added a new intro and a new ending. He expanded. The book was like 800 pages long. It's like, didn't you tell the story the first time around?
Damn. Yeah,
talk about padding. Like he was getting paid 5 cents for every word he put in.
Yeah. They said that he does that a lot.
Yeah.
They said that even the story of Christine, it's more pages than it really needs to be. It gets too in depth with personality and whatever, and this thing and that thing. It's and they said that movie came out a lot better than the book.
Okay, because they cut down a lot of the padding.
Yeah. Ugh.
So see, I can see what they're doing the padding if they plan to do like in John Wick. It will be a spin-off about the hotel itself, with that concentrating on the John Wick character.
Jeebus.
That's how they
I don't think that's a good idea.
But
hey, don't listen to me. What do I know?
Yeah, I mean, so I know that spin-off. As far as the Halle Berry, they introduced her character. So eventually, somewhere down the road, they might give her a spin-off. So now they're keeping the options.
Did they watch Catwoman?
Apparently, somebody didn't.
I guess didn't they watch that? Didn't they try to do that already? I mean, come on, folks, please.
Yeah, I mean, doing the spin-offs. Well,
they build up these characters and say, "Oh, this is a real badass," like they did with Rose Tico in Star Wars. You're gonna love this character. She's a real badass. You're gonna love it.
She was a whiner.
And she develops, and she's gonna amaze you, and she's gonna win, and she's gonna survive, and you're gonna be amazed by
You mean the Asian chick, right?
Yeah.
To the point where she wasn't even in the trailer for the new movie.
Yeah,
they hit her.
She was like the Jar Jar Binks. It's sort of like with the Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar
you're
Binks,
gonna love Jar Jar Binks. No, we're not.
No, we're not.
Trust me, you're gonna love it. I'm gonna make you love it. I'm gonna shove it down your throat, and you're gonna love it.
And the poor character had like one scene.
Yes.
And the second film, Annie, we miss you, or whatever he said. Yeah, and the third film
was so offensive.
And the third film, he was talking to the assembly, and that was it. One shot deal. They shrunk the character next to nothing.
Lucas said he's going to subvert expectations. People said, "Don't put him any more movies. He stinks." And Lucas said, "No, I'm going to put him." And I think eventually the people who were funding Lucas's films and the toys said, "You put that thing there, you kill our profits. We're not going to make these toys anymore." So now the toy makers have to use that against Lucas, like. Look, you put these terrible characters, even with Star Trek, you put these terrible characters, we're not going to make them. You're not going to make any money off of them. We're going to go back to the first generation. We're going to make money off the first generation. And you know, under the contract, you make no more money off the first generation. You only make money off the new creations.
Also, because they had a whole bunch of factories and warehouses filled with Jar Jar Binks products and they couldn't sell. They couldn't get rid of it.
They have that with Star Trek. They have that with the new Force Awakens. I hear there's still toys out there in 5.99 stores and 99 cents. And I showed you some of them that they weren't selling.
They weren't selling, no.
They don't care. They don't want that.
Yeah. So we're going to see how the
Force.
Yeah, we'll see it this Christmas. I mean, right now.
Oh, did you see the trailer?
The trailer what? For the new Star Wars?
Yes. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Did it subvert your expectations?
Nope.
Did you want to see it?
Nope.
Neither do I, but I'm going to see it just to review it. And then I'll be like, no matter what I say, it's not going to matter to you whether or not I like it or not, but you're gonna go see it, or you're maybe not going to go see it.
Well, I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm going to go see it regardless and see how they're going to wrap up the story because the whole storyline sucks.
Yeah, because I have to go along with the rest of the fans.
The hell with the Skywalker.
I have to go along with the rest of the fans. I have to be a guy who jumps on the bandwagon, but I have to be sort of that guy who says that this isn't really Star Wars. I'm sorry, this isn't Star Wars. It's not written by Lucas. I don't know who's written by it. Yeah. By Disney. This is Disney Star Wars. So to me, this seems more like fan fiction. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to hit them where it hurts, but it's fan fiction. And if you don't believe me, the proof is in the pudding by your merchandise that nobody wants to pick up.
Well, let's put it this way. The whole Skywalker storyline plot just plain sucks. It's worn out enough. I mean, they did it right.
No. The Skywalker plot is still good. Some people are saying in Rogue One, Darth Vader was one of the most overwhelming things. The stormtroopers, like the old Star Wars, the stormtroopers, people love that. They hate the new stormtroopers. They say they look like sad clowns, like clownfish. Like they have that smile upside down. Like they have to make them 25% different, but they can make a profit of it. But people don't really like it.
Right.
So they're buying old Star Wars. And even Mattel or whoever controls that selling the toy is now rehashing old Star Wars figures.
They're re-releasing the stuff.
Re-releasing. And they said the old collectors are ticked off. It's going to hurt my bottom line because now the stuff is out there.
Yeah. Well, the stuff that would sell if it says copyright 1980. Like I still got a lot of the original Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and it says copyright 1980 Kenner.
But I'm surprised that you could get
that stuff.
I'm surprised you could get that stuff done. Probably in China, bootleg.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes they do a really good job because if they know they can make a good profit out of it, they'll dedicate themselves like a guy who knows how to counterfeit bills.
But as far as the storyline, for me, Star Wars Rebels, they got it right. Even they introduced a time travel, and I think the
second.
What
next? They're going to go into space?
The second to last episode, in general, the last season of Rebels, you see the Emperor show up. If I remember, what's the second last episode? But you Star Wars fans know what I'm talking about. But anyway,
you go watch
it. And they it was like a triangle box. And the Emperor shows up, and he was alive. And so this is the concept of time travel concept.
Yeah, because look at that in that trailer. You've seen the trailer, right?
Right.
In the trailer, they have the Emperor. They have his laugh at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
They have all this stuff. They have Rey jumping over Kylo Ren's T-fighter.
Right.
It's like that's impossible. You can't really do a jump like that.
Well, science fiction.
Jesus.
Science fiction.
Pardon my French.
I mean, when I saw Landau inside the Falcon, I said, boy, they're really reaching out and really scraping the bottom of the bucket.
Bottom of the barrel there.
The bottom of the barrel, yeah. I mean, I just want to get the storyline, but the good thing about it is they're going to continue Star Wars. The Han Solo movie, no pun intended, basically killed all the offshoots. I mean, the Boba Fett movie, the Yoda movie,
all the Mandalorian thing on television or something like that?
Yeah, John Favreau, director of Iron Man, and he's going to do his spin. Favreau, right? But it's going to be within the Star Wars universe, but they're going to concentrate on the original characters. The good thing is the Game of Thrones guys, the producers and the writers, are going to do the new spin-off of Star Wars.
Yeah, but there's a lot of controversy now because they said that those last scripts that weren't written by R.R. Martin and written by those people that they hired from the Game of Thrones, they're people who are fuming. They said that those same writers and destroyed Game of Thrones. They said that they don't like that last season.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, it's all over the internet. People are like hounding it, bashing it. They said they subverted expectations. They made the characters who were powerful, they made them weak. They did all this stuff, and they just said, and they sort of had that big fight scene because R.R. Martin didn't write that. He said they had to have this because Endgame was coming out, and they wanted to compete against it. So
they were right because that was the highest rated show. Yeah,
because they wanted to have this big battle, but you know, R.R. Martin didn't write this stuff, and he's like, oh my God, you guys are just taking it, but you know, you own it, so you could take it anywhere you want.
Right. I mean, for a fanboy, I mean, you go Friday, you go see Endgame, maybe you want to go see it again on Saturday, and then you have Game of Thrones. We both grew up in the 70s, so for me, seeing Godzilla on a Friday, then seeing Elton John, that is 70s stuff. Okay, like Godzilla used to play on 4:30 movie of the week on Channel 7, even before Oprah.
Oh, and also look at.
So I grew up on that, and of course Elton John was big in the 70s. So in 2 weekends, it's going to be a time travel for me, going back in time and revisiting the 70s.
Well, they said 70s was the best year for making movies. And another thing.
And music too.
Look at how because they said that the industry wasn't controlling them, but as soon as they saw it could make money, that's when they jumped in. Swooped in, tried to make money out of it, and ruined it.
That's the 80s.
That's the 80s, and the like they said, the snow flowed endlessly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So they said, I also saw that HBO was came out with its trailer for the Watchmen series.
Okay, that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, it's a trailer for the Watchmen because remember I was talking about they should bring this back, and it's really easy to bring back because none of those people had superpowers and they could be replaced by others.
Right.
You know, they're just humans. They're just other people can replace them. So they sort of did that because they said they're not going to continue or they're not going to repeat. They're not going to repeat what's already been put out there. They're not going to do the comic book. They're going to do another, continuation and who knows, maybe subvert expectations.
But there's so many books written on by, what was it, Alan Moore?
Yes.
He did a couple of Watchmen. So
they don't know how to translate his work. They just don't know how to do it because it's sort of ingenious. It's sort of like I give you plans for a rocket, and then you see it and you go, yeah, I got it. Right. I know how to do it. I get the gist of it, and that's what happens. Oh, we got 30 seconds.
Okay, everybody. In 2 weeks, we're gonna have the big Godzilla show.
Stay tuned.
And then after that, we're gonna
Godzilla.
After that, we're just going to continue with the summer movies. Look like Toy Story is going to be my favorite for June. So.
Oh, not Godzilla?
No, Godzilla is May 31st. Toy Story is going to be June.
All right, 10 seconds.
Anyway, we see you guys on YouTube. The show will be posted on Monday, including new links. And then thanks for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Okay. Oh, I finished. Got to get in here, take pictures. All right. Something I forgot to mention. Oh yeah, right. The writers of Game of Thrones, they're gonna rewrite Star Wars anyway, so it doesn't.